right, hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Looks like it's coming through. I'll wait for your confirmation on that one. So, um, it's an okay morning. Starting to accelerate a little bit with the dollar strength coming into the markets. A little while ago when I checked, it was kind of anemic is the best way to say it. But we know as we have the U.S. session kind of rolling in, that tends to be when we see some dollar movement coming back in versus the European market. So dollar yen, dollar Swiss, both up to 75 right now. Not a horrible spot, right? Not a horrible spot to be in. Up, I would say what traditionally a daily ATR is supposed to be. Dollar Swiss, there's actually some headlines there. Nothing, I would say, too substantial, but just a few headlines. But we expected the dollar to rally, again, after yesterday, after getting beat up. And everybody was, super anti-dollar, forever with that CPI coming in. And, everybody seems to be on the same page with it. Again, the Fed is going to continue to raise, right? Going past 5, holding it there. Consensus is that, they are definitely not cutting in 2023, even though kind of what the market is saying. There are some people in the market that are like, oh, yeah, they're going to cut in 2023 at the very end. Yeah, they're going to cut. I think they're going to hold it long. We've been so resilient at this point. Unless there's some major change, I don't know about that one. Besides that, one of the big stories from this morning is the FAA. This is something that we may, it may ripple back and forth, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm sure we're going to hear more about it. I think it's officially open now. I think it's paused. Like I said, it's only 7 minutes past, but I believe it's there. If you guys weren't aware of this one, the FAA kind of tracking system, whatever, broke, went down, whatever you want to call it. So they halted all flights this morning until they could get the situation fixed. I think they were saying that it affects 2.9 million travelers from, obviously that's all the flights during that time. But yeah, like 2.9 million. And they were saying they were bringing up, it was a very interesting point, that normally, right, under normal circumstances, when we have weather problems in one area, it affects things, but not like this, right? The reason why we're going to have the effect on this one is because, again, everybody shut down. So it's not like a specific region on there, which absolutely is, different than what we normally see. So hopefully the problem is fixed and it's running again. Basically, if you're traveling today, it's not a good day to travel. We were having enough problems before anyway, but yeah, whole system shut down. It's just not one airline, it's everybody. So we'll see how that's going. Besides that, we know today doesn't have really a whole lot of news. We have obviously oil coming in at 10:30 today. We have the 10-year bond auction, and I'm curious, really for me, I think the bond auction, although, again, most people are not trading bonds directly. I think today is a kind of a good one to look at, right? Again, we don't have to be bond experts, but again, we know that big money plays in the bond market, and that's kind of their bread and butter of things. Seeing kind of what happens today with the auction may give us kind of a telltale sign of what's really, truly coming next with big money. Remember, there's, the retail trader and the stock market, but then there's big money, right? And big money does things with bonds, with fixed income. Again, believe it or not, in that realm, T-bills. Yeah. Believe it or not, big money, their job, or they're not their job, but their goal when go into advisory firms is not to make money. Everybody would think that, like, oh my God, they invest so much money. They're manipulating the market. They're all about making money. No, they're not. Actually, they're looking to maintain their wealth. And that's why they use things like fixed income. They want to try to outpace inflation. That's what the big money actually does in the market. It's not exactly what most people think it is. So again, something like, a 10-year auction does come up, and, it'll be interesting to hear the commentary on it today. Because again, there's nothing else really out there. FAA, but that's not going to really affect too much out there. Now, last night, it's funny. I swear that we started this one off at 7.3, and then they dropped it to 7.2, and it came in at 7.3. So again, there is an article down here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here you go. Headed for a series of interest rate hikes as inflation rises again. And we mentioned this yesterday that one of the things the Fed has talked about is they don't want to stop raising interest rates to all of a sudden see inflation continue to rise and then have to start raising interest rates again. Very detrimental, obviously, right? I mean, it's, we don't want the, inflated cost as it is now. If we halt and then they pick up again, that kind of goes against what we're looking to do. So, yeah. I don't know. It's happened in Australia. I think they ended a little bit early. Was kind of surprised the first time that they ended it. So I don't know if that's going to be a lesson. I'm sure the Fed's looking at that and saying, wonder if we should, kind of change our stance on this. Not that they're going to change policy or anything like that, but, it could, it could make some big changes, right? So, we'll see. I don't know. I think that the market is a little bit off on what they expect the Fed to do. I think the Fed has I think their approach has been okay, so I'm good with it. But this is obviously one of the things that the Fed has specifically said that's not what we want to do. We don't want to stop and then see it rise more because, again, that means we have inflated costs of everything for an extended period of time, and that's not what the Fed's mandate is. They want to have price stability, not pausing, continuing, 3 years of high inflated prices, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what we got going on today. Tomorrow morning is the big day. Obviously, we know that, with CPI coming in, this is what we've been waiting for, right? We've been looking for this. Give us the CPI reading. Not that, again, CPI is the, preferred method that the Fed looks at, but it is one that the overall stock market seems to love. They're like, oh, CPI, yes. Look at that year over year. It's working what they have. No, it's still going up. We're just not accelerating at the same pace, which is great because if we were, we'd be in some trouble. But again, the prices of everything right now are more expensive, and that's the excuse that everybody uses. Well, inflation, everything's more expensive right now. Everything's more expensive. Kind of funny. Even in just with like the lacrosse realm, because obviously January is big for us because, we're planning for all the new seasons and everything. And everyone's like, well, the cost went up. I'm like, really? Really? Did the rain from the sky, the cost for the rain to the sky to water our fields, did that raise the prices of things? I'm curious. Because we don't do anything else to the field, so why would we have to charge more for field maintenance? What has changed? They're like, well, everything's more expensive. I'm like, well, yes, if it's actually more expensive because it is more expensive, then sure, charge more. But we're not paying for the rain from the sky. Where's our increased expenses? So, CPI is again a fun one, but it's going to be big tomorrow. It's absolutely going to be big. Everybody's literally going to be sitting on the edge of their seat looking at that one. So again, right now, core, and this is the thing. Everybody's going to look at this 6.5, celebrate it, be like, yes, the Fed has solved all our problems. They built the ark. We've survived the rain. But look at that core number. That core number is positive. It's going up. It's increasing, right? So yes, the CPI month over month looks like it's negative. It's like, yeah, it's great. That's fuel costs. We already know where that's coming from, right? That's gas. It's because it was up at 86 before. Now it's down at 76 in that 75 range, and it was lower than that. Remember before everybody was like, hey, listen, CPI doesn't matter. It's core that matters, right? Because we're taking the most volatile things, right? Ukraine, right? Take that doesn't matter. All we care about is core, right? Because Bernard, she was patting ourselves on the back like, look, we've controlled core. Yes, we've done it. Well, now the story's changed. Is she going to say anything tomorrow, right? And we know this is the Fed. The Fed is looking at core more than CPI. But, man, those journalists, they love CPI. So, we'll see where this one goes. Anyway, with that said, I had to pick on Bernard a little bit there because I love when she was like, no, the core, that's, the core, that's what matters. We'll see if she makes any comments tomorrow that the core is increasing again. And remember, if you guys don't know, and again, you're like, wait, why are you picking on her? What's she saying? What core is basically here, right? Clicking on core. It's removing food and energy, right? We know that food and energy is higher, right? But energy is not as high as it was. But what this is core is everything else out there. Basically, it's the rest of inflation catching up, right? And this is clothing, this is services, this is everything. Core is really not what we want to see. And again, again, we've already know that the Fed is kind of looking at that number, and that's kind of a big one. So, overall, not what we wanted to see, but we'll see. Again, this is just the projections. We'll see how it all turns out tomorrow. At the end, after the news. Again, we were up in the 75 range. You're seeing we're starting to pull back. 62, 66, 13, 11, 25, 20, even the pound yen, 48, right? So no major kind of earth-shattering moves today, this morning. And again, that's kind of, it's kind of predictable. It's what you would expect to see. All right, so let's dive over into the charts. I don't think anything else. Sweden facing a day of I love this. I love these headlines, right? I feel like you got to go to school for this, though, right? To come up with this quality of, Sweden is facing a day of reckoning, right? Like, I feel like if you say day of reckoning, it's like, oh God, we're on the verge of collapse, right? Nuclear winter, right? A day of reckoning, right? Housing prices are plummeting, right? Okay. But it's a day of reckoning. And again, the Kremlin reinstates that Putin is open to talks with Ukraine, right? It's funny. Before it was all about, hey, listen, we're willing to sit down and, peace is the way to go. And this is like the third time, and everyone's like, don't care. You don't mean it. We're not interested in peace, right? It's funny how it's it's like a no headline, right? Putin wants peace. Nothing. Okay. Sure. Don't care. So, yeah. Anyway, here's VIX. All right. So, VIX. Yesterday, we talked about it. Everybody was a little bit concerned about what Powell was going to say. He didn't really say anything. It was kind of more of a lesson than anything else. Nothing that we really had to worry about. It was, I wouldn't say any of it was really like super inflammatory. And the market agreed. The market looked at this and said, okay, that's nothing. There's nothing. He didn't really say anything crazy that we weren't surprised, with. He gave a lesson of what we do in the United States and, how to deal with the mandate. And again, we're not going to get into politics. We're going to stay out of the green initiative, which again, he should. It's not his job. His job is, inflation and price stability and employment, right? So it dropped. It went down. Markets were able to kind of rally back again, right? Since that time in the overnight, nothing. And again, as it should, there's no news, right? There's nothing there really to kind of jack this one around. So it makes sense it's doing what it's doing. Because it's not, spiking or doing anything else, we're seeing all the indices up just a little bit, like 0.5% in the green, as it should be, right? There's no major news today, right? Most people look at news as being a bad thing, and the market kind of takes the same stance, right? News can only be bad, right? Yeah, there's good news, but when there's nothing happening, it means that we don't necessarily have as much to worry about. So that's kind of where we're standing right now with this one. Trying to think, is there anything in there really kind of hidden in the numbers? Not really. Let's see. Now, trying to think. Hold on. I'm looking at one other thing. What is she? Wait, hold on. Melissa just messaged me. What? Melissa has Kip right now, so I'm just gonna make sure that she's fine. Yes. Okay. Sorry. All right. So not much there. The dollar. Okay. The dollar right now, not really doing much. Look, we're stuck in the same channel that we were in before, right? The same channel. No catalyst, no movement, right? Not a whole lot there. Down a little bit right now, but again, a lot of this is the same kind of catalyst and moves that we were talking about before. There's just not a whole lot there. So again, the dollar is not necessarily a big influencer. We can see that we had 3 o'clock up, kind of a bit of a reversal, 7 o'clock back down again, but we're exactly in the same spot. So nothing really, really big. Commodities, you're seeing natural gas down just a smidge. Gold and silver both down a smidge right now. Crude oil up at 76. Again, going in the wrong direction. I told you guys my my escapade to, buy the boat a vehicle that can tow it. And man, is it hard. It's like, oh, you look at everything out there, and I love it. All the reviews. I told you guys yesterday, and it's kind of funny. I look at the gas thing, and like I said, we really just need a vehicle that's going to be able to, tow the boat back and forth, 4-wheel drive if we need it. Has the ability to put, all the kids in it if we have to, obviously for emergency purposes. We have the Kia Sorento, but it's okay in the snow, but nothing, more than a couple inches, it gets a little bit weird. So we're looking at a car, and everyone's like, "Oh, the most hated truck in the world." You're like, "Oh, that's so good." But I'm like, yeah, it like meets everything we need, right? Uh, yeah, used car prices are so weird right now. So I'm like looking at this. I'm like, the most hated car is like, oh, it's going up again. It's like, no, go back down, go back down. Yeah. Anyway, here's the Aussie dollar. So not really much movement in the Aussie dollar. You can see it's considered up 0.17 right now. It's up 6 pips in 24 hours. Not too bad, right? I mean, it's just, it's kind of stuck. Like I said, the Australian news last night, it kind of came in as expected. And right now, with no news today, everybody's literally looking at CPI. And everybody's like, what are they going to do? 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 Is it going to go up? Is the Fed going to do this? And again, what the Fed's going to do versus what the market is like, fake news. We're not paying attention. It's pretty apparent right now. Now, this one has had a swing back and forth. You can see it's about 50 pips. I mean, so right now, here you're like, oh, it's not moving at all. The reality is it's actually more like that. Like if you take yesterday, the news came in right here. So you can see the news did drive it up about 50 pips. And then from kind of peak to trough here, you're talking about 54 pips. So it was decent movement. If you're holding this, like kind of, trying to do an overnight trade on it, obviously nothing came out of that. You're 6 pips in 24 hours. You're hating life right now, right? But there was sufficient swings up and down. So there's absolutely some room you can grab from it. Now, the one thing I will note, and again, we mentioned this yesterday as well, we have the 68.58 area. Again, this is the thing about trading, right? I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody has a crystal ball, right? I set up trades. I'm looking for if this, then that. When it eventually comes down to this level, that's when I'm looking to trade it. Now, it did come down. We did get this little pop yesterday morning, right? We had a base. We're like, oh, come on, break it and go. It didn't. It popped and kind of gave us a confirmation off. It says, yep, there's buyers still there. Totally cool, right? Love it. Came down, touched them again. Love it. The more they hit this level, the better this trade becomes, okay? Now, I did figure out my problem. It was my fraud. So again, we are back on with none of the D's over there. I should be able to set alerts yet again, right? So again, we should be able to put this here. I should be able to add the alert. Bam, there you go, right? As well as, another update for you guys. So for a while last year, we were really working on trying to get those signals running through. So the levels that we discussed inside of Chart School could be bounced back into Discord, right? So that way, again, a lot of you use Discord. A lot of you are on there. And we were trying to get that sunk. Got all the kinks worked out. It was working. And then the United States blocked all payments from Russia. And the owner of the bot, the creator of it, is actually I guess he processed, I think it was Russia. Anyway, whatever it was, because of the block, he was unable to pay for the bot hosting. So we lost the ability to send signals. He just updated yesterday that he has acquired a new bot that's paid for the entire year. So the bot should be becoming live again. There's things that I need to update inside of it. Haven't done that yet, but I saw it late last night that now he is officially, he's been able to prepay for a server that will host the bot. So we may have the ability in the very near future to have all of the alerts live again back into the Discord channel, which will be awesome, right? So with that said, 68.58, same analysis as yesterday. Love the fact that it has basically formed a new base in here. 2 touches coming through. Looking forward to drop down to 68.05. Don't have to look at it again. We know it's coming through. Aussie yen. Aussie yen. Here's where news was. So I'll extend this across. We talked about yesterday about 90.96. And again, we started to get a base in there. We had a little bit of a pullback. And then again, news drove it right into that zone and took off. This one also kind of a bit of a mover. 60 pips, right? Wasn't like a 500 pip move or anything like that, but 60 is an easy grab on something in the in the overnight session for something like Australia. It's a good one, right? It's not bad, right? Gotta like that one. Easy, right? It was, they told you exactly when you needed to trade it, and you got in there, and it pulled back and did exactly kind of what we were looking for. So it's over now. Not much we can do with it, but right now I would say that I do like the fact that we were unable to get all the way back up to the prior trade. Now, off of this zone, if you did put kind of a new top in there, actually, there's the green candle there. There's your touch. It did actually bounce off of that kind of near-term level. So you could have taken a short there if you wanted to, but it would have been a little bit close on the 1 to 3 on the other side. And again, understand that there is obviously some yen play that comes into this one. So right now, we're kind of on the high side. I'd like to see this kind of turn and roll. I do think with CPI tomorrow, I think there is more of a short here for both the Aussie dollar and the Aussie yen. We mentioned that yesterday. So again, their news is out. Very, very easy news trade. We're just kind of peeking here. And again, we kind of have, this is a lower low, right? We may be putting a top in here to channel back down into this level, or it may just start to push. So I'm cool with it. I'd like to see, again, it's early right now. I need to go through the US session. I think tonight is a good time to look at this. Not so much as for a nighttime trade, but the reason why tonight is because, again, that will clear all the U.S. trade activity out, and we'll see if it's pre-positioning itself. I do believe the European session will position this trade for CPI tomorrow. I think if you're going to trade this one for CPI, and again, it is kind of a proxy over proxy, but I do think the Aussie is going to take a hit tomorrow morning. What you need to do is see what the Europeans do with this market. They'll start to kind of push this up or down in relation to where they see price moving. So again, I think it's here. It's close. I love the proximity. Everything else looks good with it. We're just a little bit early right now. So again, hopefully you guys were able to grab the what's it called? The news trade off of it last night. Now euro dollar, yeah, euro dollar kind of sleeping, right? In 24 hours, it's a blazing 29 pips right now, right? Yeah, not so much. It's still sideways. It is holding high. It did peak up just a little bit this morning, but nothing too crazy. It's still sitting inside of our same range. Now, if you remember yesterday, we were looking for this one to be able to hold, right? We wanted it to hold. We wanted it to maintain. And the reason why is because, again, we think CPI is going to come in. Somebody's going to talk about core being like, oh, Jesus. And again, if that regular CPI is not negative, right? If it does not come in negative, I think that's one of those things that could give it a big boost, right? A big pop. And I'll tell you right now, I don't think the stock market will be happy if that CPI number is positive. Right now, it is actually, again, forecast for negative, but the core, if anybody mentions that core, I think that's really where the big features for me is coming from, right? Like, give me some of that core number. So again, right now we are 24 hours out from being able to have that release. How do you play this one? Again, I still think it's again, we look to take this short, right? Do we have the zone yet? No, we don't. It's not there yet because that's too soon. But yeah, I think this is this is what we're looking for. I wish we had more for it, but don't. Let's mark this off. Yeah, it's right there. Let's take this right there. And again, that's what we're looking for. Okay. So not much else I can do with it because it hasn't moved. It's literally right where it was yesterday. So Euro pound. Now, whoops, I didn't mean to move that. All right, so we did get a little pop. That 78.6 actually got run through, and you can see it kind of hit here, and then it did hit it. It got front run and started to push back down again. You're like, oh, okay. But it started to form that base. So I like this one. This one has actually left the range. Now, we knew we had all kinds of chop up here, and this actually, remember, we moved this down. I'm going to delete this because we know that it's there now. That's there. We can extend this up just a little bit. So we are getting a nice little punch. And there was actually an article. Where is it? Here you go. Talking about how I love when they do this. The hive mind of Wall Street. Yeah, right. Everybody's trying to stab each other in the back. This is like the Roman Senate with Caesar walking around, right? Excuse me. I love this. The collective hive mind. It's like, really? Wall Street is nothing about how do we stab the other guy in the back and make money. Talking about energy prices tumbling in the region-wide recession. I don't know that I would say that it's ready to take off. Like, this is the bottom. We're going to town. I still think there's a lot of contagions. There could be a cold winter. There could still be a disruption of energy. Remember, they have enough gas. If it isn't, if it's the average year, I don't know. It's already seemed like it's been colder than it's been in the past. If it's not an average year, they're going to run out of gas. And it's going to jack prices. And again, I still don't think the Ukraine situation is done. I don't think the Taiwan situation is done, which also messes some stuff up over there. So my opinion on this one is I like this high. Again, it came up in, 88.80 is where it came up to. We've known that there's been a lot of stuff up there. With it finally breaking through all these, right? These were kind of the tops we were looking for, right? With it breaking through, though, that means technically we can't see any of that anymore. So that should be completely fresh. So we're kind of looking for a new top to be put in, right? I think that's decent. If you take a run, again, most recently, from here to here, you can see that it shows us where a little bit of congestion is. Again, it's an easy low to high. This is a zone that we had talked about before. So you could use it. A lot of FIB people will draw this here. Being a low to high here, you can see there's a little bit of congestion at the 23.6. You can see at the 50, it's got to go a little bit deeper than the congestion here. The 61.8, there's not really a whole lot there. So there is definitely a lot around the 50. I would say right now, if you are looking for shorts, and again, if we get a green pullback and another red close that's below the green, that technically should be a sell signal for us, right? We're talking about 49 pips total. I see this one coming back down again. We don't have actually a lot of euro or pound data this week. So right now, it's at a top. I don't necessarily like a top. I mean, again, could we go long from the 23? Good. It's a little bit deep, right? It's a little bit deep because it hits the 23.6. It broke through those buyers. It's all right. This, a lot of chop back and forth. Not really the best level to go long off of. This, 61, not really interested. 78, no desire. There's nothing sitting there. So, really, I mean, range-wise, talking about 100 pips. So, 29. You can see it's green, right? It's green, but in the last 60 minutes, last hour, it's taking back down to kind of even. So, we're going back down to a pip an hour. So, yeah, we got our red, we got our little green here. If we get another red, again, we're going back down to nothing. So, a little bit hard to trade this one. Not really a lot of great zones in here, but I am happy. It is progress, right? It's progress with the fact that we've now broken out of all these. We've gotten rid of all these sellers. We were able to go higher, and we actually do have a candle that we can potentially use as a new top. So, again, those are positive. So, at least we've had, I don't know. I don't want to say positive, but I'm going to say progress, right? We've had progress, right? It's better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. So, euro yen. Obviously, with the European strength, you're seeing this one rally as well. Now, we are past the 50 now. And again, we didn't really draw anything because none of the levels there were really great. And if these were levels that were December 28th, right? Again, how many great levels are put in December 28th? The answer is not really many. So it's good. I like the fact that it is rallying higher. Now, there is a 61.8 level coming up, and people will be looking at the 61.8 level. Unfortunately for me, there's nothing at the 61.8 level, right? Nor the 78.6. So for me, I don't really have anything up until we have this 45, 55 level. And again, we could, you could choose to say, hey, listen, there's two levels sitting there. Kind of a combo level. We'll do it just so it's easier to draw. We'll turn it orange so we know that there's stuff there. That's the last time we've had any really great movement in this one. And we got a lot of room to run, right? That's going to require about 270 pips. We need a big catalyst for us to get up there. Now, I'm going to bring this up. Is this the best way to play it? Not so much. But if we do have a monstrous move in the yen because of the proxy of CPI, this could be a potential turning point. Just because, again, that's a lot of movement in a very short period of time. Absolutely, it absolutely can move it that far. Is this the one we typically want to play the proxy on? Not really, but again, it is a possible trade if the yen goes absolutely insane tomorrow. So, it's there. Just watch out for it. But for me, the 61.8, nothing there. 78.6, we're kind of I guess if you wanted to do kind of a Harry Potter trade out of this one, long, that's what we're looking at right now, right? So I think if we can get this entire trade entered and in before tomorrow morning, I think that would be the ideal scenario, right? Oops, not call out. What was I trying to do? Price label right there. So it would be a break. It would be a break of 142.95, a base, and a pullback to 142.95. The risk on this one is about 28, so it's a little bit high on the risk level. But all as it is would be a trend continuation. Pop through, base, pullback, and go. Profit target on this one would be set up here, 143.79. So, yeah, we could even see with the new. Again, maybe it goes a little bit higher and starts the base, and we could use that. But it's all right. It's about the best thing we got for it right now. Again, not interested in taking any of the shorts where it's, we're in racetrack territory now. So, yeah, not there. All right, so here's where we were yesterday. We mentioned this when we missed this by 2.1 pips, came all the way down and touched it. You can see it did it again, and this is awesome. So here's your 1, here's your 2, here's your 3. Love it. Think that's great. A little bit of a hiccup here, and I mentioned this yesterday that, hey, listen, if we get that base in there and we break down, this is what that could look like if we are through there. I do like this one short for tomorrow. And again, I think watch the 78. If we do rally up today, If the Europeans take this up to the 78 or the 61.8, love that for a short. I think that's awesome. Here is the news tomorrow morning. So depending on where we are, I think either of them are great. But I do like a Harry Potter short here. And again, it's 20 pips. It's not anything crazy. And you can see we got one little hiccup here, but look at the free fall on this one, right? And again, we could potentially, and we'll do it off that one. But 1, 2, and 3 went lower. So, change that green. Whoops. Something along those lines, right? So, pound dollar for me tomorrow. I'm really where it is, and again, right now I'm kind of torn between the two. Obviously, pound is the weaker, the one with the euro rallying. But again, remember, when we have a big rally one day, we tend to have a reversal tomorrow. So I don't know where we're going to go with it yet, but I will say that I do like the fact that, again, with the euro rallying higher right now, the euro dollar may be the way to play this tomorrow. But where we are right now on a technical level, all things aside, just looking at this pair, I do really like where the pound dollar is for tomorrow. And again, like I said, I'm still, as of right now, I mean, I haven't seen what the European market is going to do with it. I do like the pound dollar for a short, based off of everything we've seen. The pound weakness coming in today. And again, depending on how the European market sets up, that's going to determine, eventually how we end up playing this one. All right. But I do like this one. I am a big fan. And this is another one of Harry Potter's with 3 touches right now. 4 is ready to break. A nice little kind of racetrack here. One little area of buyers right here, which is probably what it'll come down and bounce off of. It all matches up for another Harry Potter trade. And again, it's a 23 for 65 in the other direction. I like that one. Pound yen. Oh, just chop. Look at this. Chop. 44 pips in 24 hours. For this pair, wah, wah, wah. It's nothing. It's not a big deal at all. Again, we're still shopping back and forth. Again, it did turn down here at that 160 mark. It's holding firm right now up at the 161. I think we'll get some movement in this one tomorrow as well. Again, because of the yen proxy. Is this one the best one to play for this one? Probably not. I think I think versus the dollar is going to be better. And again, I don't mind the Aussie yen, but I don't know that pound yen, is going to be the ideal opportunity for tomorrow. It's going to have a wider spread. It's going to cost more. You got to really question, like, is it worth the trade for the additional costs? I feel like go with the easy ones, right? Go with the easy ones. Right now, again, still think that I feel like it's going to turn. I wouldn't say that, this one's in an area where I'm like, oh, got to sell it. Not really. I don't like the 71.8 or the 78.6. Told you guys that before. It has hit. It has formed a level, but it's not super strong. So higher on the curve. I don't know that we're going to get anything that's going to jack in massive amounts of yen strength. But you never know. You never know. It's possible. So again, bearish is my thinking. Again, but I do think we are going to be bracketed in here. And I think 160, I do think you have buyer stepping in at 160. So I think you need to be very cautious with that level. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD also not moving. We can erase this news from yesterday. And again, it did kind of go where we thought it was going to go to. And now it's kind of stabilizing. You can see we're really hovering around that 23.6. We're really putting 23.6 traders to the test here. They're like, oh God, sell it. Oh, we're short. We're positive. Oh God, it's coming back up again. It's one of those ones that doesn't really have a whole lot of conviction one way or the other. And you can say on this one, really, is it trending right now? Since yesterday at 10:30? No. Well, you could. Yeah, it's trending sideways. There's no up or down trend in it. So, is it a great trading opportunity right now? Not really. I don't know. I guess it's okay. We'll see if, CAD gets a little bit of help today, but, is it great? Not really. So, if anything, we'll see. I do think this one has the ability to pop. So, I will point this out for tomorrow. We do have a level of basing here right at the 23.6. We'd mentioned that yesterday, but look, hit there, hit there, hit there. If we go past it, I think it has the ability to go long. I wish we were closer to news, and I'm afraid this is going to get screwed up from now till then. But I do think there is a potential here for the news that comes out, right? As I said, I think dollar strength is rolling back in. I just don't know if we're going to have enough time. I really feel like it's going to be able to initiate and trade today up to that 35 level. If this was here, I'd be all over it. Right now, I'm like, yeah, we could trade it, but this is what it would look like. And I actually like dollar CAD at 135. I think 135 is kind of where it should be right now. Yeah, I don't mind that level. And again, the 135 is right around the 50% retracement as well. I think that's kind of a good point. Again, all the joking aside, I do think oil, again, is not in a bad place. I'd love for it to be lower because obviously I don't want to spend any more money than I have to. But I think it's kind of justified. Again, we haven't, people are doing layoffs, obviously. Actually, a friend of mine, actually not a friend of mine, but I guess I'm friends with her too. But one of Melissa's best friend got laid off yesterday. She worked for a tech company in Canada. So they did some layoffs yesterday, like another 20% of the staff. They did like 10% last year, and I think they did like 20% or something, or another 10% or something like this year. So yeah, internet tech companies, not the place to be right now. So, but I do think 135 would probably make sense. Dollar Swiss. All right, so dollar Swiss. Talked about this yesterday as well. Dollar strength coming back in. Swiss not really having a whole lot there. And you can see it came up. We had one area here marked off. And again, yesterday morning, it kind of, at 8:30 it hit. We mentioned that, but we weren't interested in carrying it any further. It did kind of turn early this morning. The Europeans have just sent it straight up. You can see the 50, it hit up a little bit, but we didn't really have anything drawn. It was a little bit deep. We were looking for this one really to go higher. We're at 92, 97 right now, basically 93. We're kind of sitting in the middle of the range. If we're talking about ranges in this one, you got to box this bottom and top off, right? Being at 50%, we're kind of in a no man's land. We talked about dollar strength rolling back in as it should. Being in the middle, it's like, oh, can we just, I don't know. I really don't see anything that keeps this one from going all the way up to 94. There's just not much, there's no Swiss data that really can kind of, affect this one. I'm trying to think if really the dollar data, anything that we say, is it going to change it that much versus the Swiss, right? I just don't feel like it does. So, my belief is on this one, we go to 94. We're sitting in the middle. Is there a great area to go long? Not really. Again, that's why we didn't really kind of continue any of this movement across. You can see 50 did nothing, 61.8. I don't know. It's okay. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at candles and I'm just not, nothing in there really excites me, unfortunately. I wish there was more to it, but there's not. So, hold on one sec. Dollar yen. Kind of the same thinking. 57. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're stuck. Couldn't even make it to the 50. Didn't get a pullback on there. No basing to go higher. At this point, if you're looking at this one for something to go long, you'd have to use that level right there. It is there is a racetrack, so we do have room to run. I'm okay with this long. 18 pips, right? 57 the other direction. You do have the 50 and 61.8, but if you look, nothing here, nothing here. A little bit at the 78.6. I think that's definitely a profit target. Yeah, not much to say, right? Slow grind, no major moves of interest. Nice little base here, which is good. It's a little bit above. I'm okay with that. So break of 132 is kind of the best we got with that one. Right? 132.88. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Again, racetrack trade to the top side. What will this one do tomorrow? This will be a little bit more challenging because the real effect is going to come into, does the market look at this one and say, oh my God, CPI is high? Or does the market look at it and basically completely ignore the data, right? The last couple of data releases that have been, pro-Fed raising, the market has shrugged off. It's like, nah, it's not real. They don't look at that, right? There's every excuse in the world. It's kind of like, well, if I don't like the data, When it supports their desires, it goes crazy. When it goes against them, they just kind of ignore that it came out, right? They completely just like, yeah, I'm not interested. I'm going to just ignore that, right? They're not, now, listen to the data, and the data comes out. Like, what data? There's no data, right? So I feel like it's really going to depend on the sentiment of, listen, are they raising, not rate? How bad is the number? Is it coming on as expected? As I said, if it comes in as expected, it should be bearish. But again, if they just ignore it, saying, yeah, we already factored that in there. It's like, no, you didn't. I think it has the ability to go higher. So maybe we get it today. Cryptos aren't really telling us much. They're all down 0.10. GME, big mover again, right? Back up to 19. TLT actually doing a little bit of a gap today, which again, dollar is down. Unfortunately, dollar's not really doing much. So TLT is, again, bit of a gap, right? Nothing crazy on there. Let's check out. There's oil. So we talked about oil here. Let me get our API oil inventory report. Let's see what we got here. Wow. Well, that's pretty interesting. I hadn't looked at this one. I forgot. Where'd it go? There we go. That's an interesting result. It was expected to be down 2.3, and it came in positive 14.8. That's a 16 million barrel difference. That's huge. Wow, I'm shocked we didn't actually have more movement on that one. Kind of funny. Look at that. It came out yesterday. Here, dropped it down, and magic. Look at this. The Europeans sent it straight up into a zone at 9 o'clock. There's your confirmation. Actually, it's 3-4. So, That's absolutely hysterical. January 10th, almost 15 million surplus when they expected to be down 2. Oops. And we're up 1.4. Wow. Now, we don't have any stabilization. You may wonder, like, hey, why are you on the 1 minute? Like, if you're not used to the channel, you may be wondering why we're on the 1 minute. So typically for news, what happens is a lot of times, obviously, that it'd be nice if the data is released at the same time for everybody. A lot of times you can kind of see what's going to happen, or you can see market movement prior to the actual news release. And the reason why you do that is because, again, it would be nice if the data, nobody had the data and it was 100% fair and even, and everybody had it at the same time. But the reality is that's not really the case. Right? A lot of times you can see pre-market movement because someone had the data a bit early, right? Like, wait, that's illegal. Yes, technically it is, but the people that are in charge of it are the ones that are doing it the most. So, yes, it's one of those things. It's like, how many times does a police officer pull over another police officer for speeding, right? Even if they don't have the lights on, right? It just doesn't happen. Right now, looking at this, again, typically we would say, hey, listen, if we're halting in a zone, we're looking for it to go long. Unfortunately, we have 1, 2, 3. We've been here 4 times. We've kind of pushed it to the brink. It's not really in a great area. I would say the level up top is probably a little bit better, but we're still not halting. We're kind of slowing down right now. We're about 10 minutes prior, but even so, it's not really a great push right now. I just don't think this zone could hold anymore because we've literally pushed it. If we use this as the zone, not the red here, push it to the brink, push it to the brink, push it to the brink, push it to the brink. Not really in a great level, right? So I would say that it is more kind of a short. Unfortunately, with data this so far out of the ordinary right now, man, I mean, as a consumer, I'm like, this is awesome. If we could actually get a reading that's even 10 million surplus, right? That would be insane. Let's see. What are they calling for? Yeah, they're calling for a -2. Can you imagine if we get a 10? Oh my God, being 12 off. People are looking at it, be like, what the heck is going on? That'd be pretty exciting. Although at this point now I'm like, God, can we get the 14.8? How awesome would a 14.8 be, right? it just goes to show you there's a small primate somewhere with darts to throw it at the at a dartboard, and that's where the inventory numbers come in. But right now, again, we're looking for a price to hold, to stall, and we're not seeing price stall at all. If anything, I would say it does look more to the downside, but everybody's expecting a major move to the downside, and I'm wondering if that was kind of why this, again, is already, I'm wondering if the move has already occurred, right? I'm wondering if the move has already occurred. I mean, it came down to 76, so it's already dropped $1 since that time. And I'm wondering if it's already in. Yeah, and there's your confirmation right there. Let's see. Is it actually done? I don't think it's done yet. No, not done yet. So we're going to watch this one. I wouldn't be surprised if this one spikes past the target. If this one, again, somebody got in this one early. If it spikes and then whips everybody out and then goes lower. Man, can we hit 75 today? 75 would be nice. I'll take 75. I could be talked into that one. Here's your natural gas. So yesterday morning we were sitting right here, and we said, hey, let's see if this 354 again is already crushed. It already got hit, and it liked it. It went down, and again 11 o'clock it hit that 355 again. We kind of stabilized ourselves, came up, grabbed a little bit. Did it come off a level? No, it didn't. Here, but it didn't come up to any fib levels. We're kind of where we were yesterday. We were sitting right here at 10 o'clock yesterday, so we're pretty much dead even with no major movement. Again, this one probably will move a little bit, but again, I think natural gas again was more of a. Natural gas, I believe, needs to come down. There's nothing right now that justifies the price being this high, unless we start getting like a super cold snap. And again, cold in Maryland, but I don't know that I would consider that a super cold snap being 40. Not the end of the world. Again, I want this one to come in and give us a new bottom, so it should be under 3. So not much to speculate on it. Gold, again, we talked yesterday. We were sitting right here, right? We popped up a little bit, said, we'll see if we can get all, how far we go. We're actually lower than where we were this time yesterday. It did spike up a little bit. Looks like the European market started here high, and the Europeans have done nothing but send it straight down. There's your 3 o'clock. That's kind of there's the European market. So we're stabilizing. Again, this is a CPI thing. There's no news today. They're going to really be able to jack this around. Excuse me, maybe a headline. Maybe we get a headline, but overall, I don't think we're going to get much. CPI is too big. Now, I do think gold and silver are going to be extremely important to watch in the European session. I do think that they will be kind of set up ahead of time before the CPI number. And again, just like I said with oil, it'd be nice if nobody saw the data. Somebody, I mean, it's not like the government is like, hey, European traders, this is what we're going to do. But a lot of times they do have some inside sources and they kind of have an idea of what it's going to be. And you see the pre-movement and the preparation of the trade happen in the European session. So sucks, but that's just what it is. Yeah, wish it was fair, but it's not. But that's okay. As long as you know how to trade it, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'd say, again, I like it high here, looking to get short it tomorrow. You can see that it is -2. Silver is much worse. And again, that's why we have 24 marked out. We've talked about 24 as being a great sell level. And it looks like, again, it didn't do much. It kind of stabilized, shot back up again, and then magically, there's your 3 o'clock, there's your 3:30. That's what silver has done since this time, right? So, again, whoops. Go back. There we go. Again, we know that 24 is a hot spot. No point in talking about it again, right? There we go. And we're all the way back down to almost 23 bucks. And again, 23 will also be a hot spot. Now, interesting enough, 23 is driving down here. I'm curious if we get down to this 23 level and then rally back again. Silver is off to the races today. So, it's all right. Again, that would have been your trade here at 4 o'clock this morning. Again, European session, I'm telling you. European session has all these like little hidden gems of things. Again, this is no different today. So, yeah. Let's see what crude is doing. It's trying. It's doing a little bit of a pullback now. Trying to see on a lower time frame. It is pushing. Oh, it is pushing to that level. We said that, hey, there was a level up here that we're looking for that could potentially be and again, kind of a hole, but not really not the hole that we want. I mean, it's there. I mean, what do we got? 5 minutes to go. Yeah, like I said, it's still more set for a short than anything else. But, if we're looking for short trade, I mean, unfortunately, the short trade was already in this morning, right? Um, yeah, I mean, looks to me more short than anything. Again, if it starts to hold here, then yeah, it's short. God, I can't wait to see what it is now. I'm like really excited for this release now, right? I'm really excited for this, right? Give it to me. What is it, man? Can we get a negative 4, a positive 14 would be awesome. Like, yeah, give it to me, right? Yeah, it's kind of. It looks like it could be holding. Could be. Could be. All right, let's check opening prints. Obviously, we don't need the 1 minute on the opening prints today. Let's see where we at here. 9:15. Yeah, I was gonna say definitely have to watch out for this level here, right? 8:45. Our 9 went down, went up. Yeah, it was more set for a short than I would say anything else. Why? Because the 9:15 candle is green, right? And you can see the 9:30 was green, grabbed the zone and turned back again, but we're kind of stuck. And funny look. Here's the base from yesterday. Look at all the basing in there. Base, 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 and that's what it tagged at 7:15 this morning. It was a little short, but you wouldn't have had enough room. I don't think there would have been any opening print for it yesterday. It's a no confirmation touch. Did that confirm? No. Would we have had enough room? It's close. It's close. And the reality is it would have fit there, so. You could have played a bit of a reversal in this one, but that's as close as you would have got with it. I mean, ideally it was the 9:15 candle signified that we were looking to get short, but was it the best of setups? It's all right. You may have gotten into this one, but I don't know if you would. Again, depending on the problem is, as it's going up, you had to say, "Hey, listen, this is going to bounce right here, right? That's where the red was, and you can see that's exactly where it did. So, maybe you took this one short. If anything, it would have been a short call, right? If anything, it would have been a short call. But again, debatable whether or not you would have. I didn't take this one today. Don't know. So you may still be in it. I don't know. If anything, take yourself out of break even. NQ. Let's see what NQ did here. This one retraced. So unfortunately, that was all the way back. So let's see. Now we can draw this there. That was a confirmed level from yesterday at noon. Yeah, it didn't hit it. Yeah, there's your 9. So same thing. Yeah, your 9 was down. Your 9:15 was up. So you're looking for a short. But again, popped all the way down, popped all the way down. Too much basing, it's going to go higher. So, yeah. Actually, you know what? You did have an area here. It was confirmed close enough. That's actually 9:30. So, actually, that would have worked. Right? 9, 9:15. Would that have enough room? Actually, it would have. It did have enough room. So, there you go. Right? Your 9:30 is the green. So, kind of left you in a weird spot. You were kind of looking for either top or bottom on this one. Yeah. So, you were kind of looking for top or bottom because we were sitting right. There's the open. So, and again, it's if this, then that. If it goes up, long, down, short. So, again, ideally the short was better, but it did nothing but head. I think it went straight down. The 930's here. It did. Yeah, so there's the 930. The 930 went right down to grab that level. So, yeah, it would have qualified. 930 is right here. The green. Popped, went down, grabbed it, straight back up. So, yeah. So, that would have worked. So, 1 for 2 so far. Ew, that's ugly. Not really a confirmed level. No. Again, 930 was up. Never got an entry. So, nope. No entry, but it went short. Russell. Russell probably triggered. Triggered. That may have done. I don't think it did make it. Was that confirmed? Maybe. 915 is up. What do we got over here? Oh, this is a rough one. That's an old level that we already know about. Let's see. I don't think this one would have qualified. Nope. I can tell you right now. So we knew we had a level there. 815, 9. Yeah, we were bouncing back and forth. So yeah, Russell will not have qualified either. And again, you can see 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 finally broke. So we already know that this one had some touches. So yeah, looks like I think NQ would have been the only one. So again, here's the ES move. Again, you may still be in this one. Maybe stop out of break even. So yeah, ES is in there. NQ obviously got you out of it already. YM didn't tag the level before it turned, and then Russell's going back again. Let's see what the number is. Now I'm curious. Ouch! Wow. We thought 14.8 was bad. Wow. 19. Add the -2 that they had expected. That is a 21 million barrel difference. Holy crap. 12. I think that is the biggest one in the last year. That's +8. I think that's the biggest one in a year. There's 5. These were all negative. 7. Oh, here you go. March. Here you go. Here's the last time we hit one that was that off. And again, you guys know, March 2021. That was the last time we were off this far. March 2021. So it's been 2 years. Wow. Well, there's a big one for you. Go $75, 75-gallon gas. I love that one. Let's see what it's doing. There you go. Remember we said it was going to spike down, and then everybody that was trying to get short was going to get stopped out? Guess what just happened? How's that for drawing? And again, had you taken that for news? 1 to 3 is right there. So doesn't matter how you took it. If you took it off the early one, right? The early move, you out. If you traded the 35-1 strategy, there's your level of basing. There was your halting. And we said go short beforehand. It would drop, take it out, and then everybody that was trying to look at that number and short it. So there you go. Gotta love oil. Whew. Man, 21 million. That's insane. So anyway, yeah. Fun with oil. And like I said, I told you exactly what's going to happen. And there you go. I feel bad for everybody that saw that number. It's like, holy crap, short oil. Yeah. So fundamentally, it should be back. It will eventually go down to here once it catches up. But right now, they're literally trying to take out every single person that tried to short oil. And they're being successful. But there's your 1 to 3 with news. So again, news trading, it's a thing. All right, that's it for today. Man, talk about that fun at the end. Gotta love it. I love it. It's spiking. People are like, no, it's going to come back short eventually, right? How much money can they lose? Look at this. We got tons and tons of surplus. Like, this is how you know that the market is just absolutely manipulated, right? We have so much extra oil right now sitting in our inventories. and it's just spiking like nobody's business. Like, how is the price getting more expensive if we have extra, right? Yeah. Out there to stick it to the little guys. All right, here we go. So let's go ahead and do our drawing. We got some people delayed here, right? Will's probably out there still fuming about the diesel prices, right? All right. I will give everybody 30 seconds because I know sometimes people try to snag it. They try to snipe it right at the end. So we will let you guys get that in. And if you guys are looking at this and trying to figure out how the heck do you enter this one, actually, this is over on Twitch that it's on. I know, I stream on YouTube as well as Twitch, so there's no way to actually get entered over on YouTube. I've never figured out or tried to spend the time to it. I do both just because YouTube is a better storage device than Twitch is. But people are basically entered over on Twitch. It goes directly into the functionality there. So, all right, here we go. Let's do our pip chip drawing for the day. Looks like our guy that won yesterday. Again, he can't do a repeat because he's not here today. So, winner of today's drawing is Neuro. And we have definitely been passing around. So, Neuro, buddy, pal, you need to win it tomorrow. We have not had a double yet in 2023. Right? No matter what happens, Neuro, you got to win it tomorrow. No doubles so far this year. Let's go over. Let's give Neuro his 25. Literally, the wins have been spread out all across the board. So we need to get that in there. So again, just to close everything out for today, remember, tomorrow is going to be a ton of fireworks, right? Ton of fireworks. CPI, again, although it's not as big as everybody's going to make it seem, it is a big reading. It is on inflation. Everybody's going to look at this as leading. The worst thing about this one is the core is rising 0.3. If that minus 0.1 is not actually minus, there's going to be some upset people tomorrow, or the market may just say, nah, it's fake news. It didn't happen. Whatever. It's not real, right? That's not important. But if it goes in their favor, they're going to be all over it. So that's going to be our fun. Again, look to the European market. They will kind of give us an idea of what's going to happen tomorrow. 9 times out of 10, the Europeans move it in the right direction to set up amazing trades. So just like we just saw with oil, look for that pre-market movement. Again, the pre-market movement, they started the jacket higher into an area of sellers for a quick collapse, and then they started to play the retail trader. So that's what we're looking for. Hit that tomorrow as well. Thank you for joining me today. I'll be back on at 9:30 tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you guys then. Have a great one. If you need me, I will be on Discord today. Shoot me a message, and I'll catch you then. Take care.